I'm Yolanda Nava. Welcome to this special edition of Life and Times Tonight. Over the next hour, we'll look at the three most hotly debated initiatives on next Tuesday's ballot. Joining me tonight are my three co-hosts.
I'm Kermit Maddox. I'll be bringing you Proposition 227. This is the effort to end bilingual education in the state of California.
And I'm Kitty Feldy of KPCC Public Radio. I'll be handling Proposition 226, the battle over union dues.
And I'm Linda Breakstone, political reporter for CBS 2 News. I'll bring you the debate over Proposition 223, the measure that would cap school districts' administrative costs.
KPCC and CBS 2 News, along with KCET, are members of the Election Connection, a coalition of print and broadcast media throughout Southern California who have come together to help improve election coverage. We'd also like to invite you, our viewers, to get involved with this live program. If you have access to the internet, you can participate in a poll on the three propositions we're exploring tonight. The results of our survey will be announced tomorrow on Life and Times Tonight. You'll find the KCET website at www.kcet.org. This is the homepage of the KCET website. Just click on the Life and Times Tonight logo. Now to the issues. We begin with a brief background report on Proposition 227.
Currently in California, 1 out of every 4 public school students speak a language other than English. Of these, about 30% receive some form of bilingual education.
Today, many immigrants work long hours.
Critics of the current system say bilingual education has failed a generation of non-English speaking students. So along with conservative businessman Ron Unz, they drafted Proposition 227. If passed, all public school instruction would be conducted in English. Students who do not speak English would enter immersion classes for 1 year, being taught in English quickly and intensively. After the year is up, students would be placed in mainstream classes.
The candidates for governor disagree on just about every issue, but they all agree Proposition 227 won't teach kids English.
But opponents of 227 argue 1 year of English immersion is not long enough to teach English well and could lead to classroom chaos. But the measure does provide an exception. Parents can insist that their children be taught in a bilingual setting. But to do so, they would have to sign a waiver, and that process is complex and time-consuming. Proposition 227 holds a commanding lead in statewide polls. Among registered voters, 63% approve of the measure, 24% oppose it.
Junta con nosotros en votando sí para la Proposición 227.
Yes for the children.
The initiative has turned California into a political battlefield. Mayor Reardon is spending $250,000 of his own money on Spanish-language TV ads backing the measure, while President Clinton has opposed it. And 1,000 LAUSD teachers have pledged to disobey 227 if it passes at the polls. Meanwhile, in the state legislature, a compromise bilingual bill was passed 3 weeks ago. It would have given school districts local control over their own bilingual programs. But that bill died when Governor Wilson vetoed it last week.
Well, obviously, there's a lot to discuss on Proposition 227. Again, the effort to end bilingual education in the state of California. Joining me now are Holli Thier. She's the statewide spokesperson for the No on Proposition 227. And Ron Unz, he's the chairman of the Yes on Proposition 227 campaign. Now, you each have 30 seconds for an opening statement. Mr. Unz, since you started this controversy, I'm going to start with you.
Bilingual education was a well-intentioned program, but it's failed after 30 years. Children are not learning English today, and there are only 2 choices before the voter: the status quo, which is a dismal failure, and our initiative, which ensures that all young children are intensively taught English as soon as they begin school. I urge everyone to vote for Prop 227 because the status quo doesn't work.
Okay, Ms. Thier, 30-second opening statement.
Actually, what's failed has been Proposition 227, where it's been tried. Proposition 227 will take all of California's limited English-speaking children, put them in a single classroom, children of all different ages, all different academic backgrounds, limit them to 180 days of English, deny them instruction in core curriculum, no math, no science, no history, and have them taught by teachers who can be sued just for teaching them.
Okay, Mr. Unz, I'd like to direct the first question to you because she makes the point that a lot of critics have said. They said your one-size-fits-all approach really eliminates some very good bilingual education programs that happen to exist. How do you respond to that criticism?
Bilingual education is a dismal failure in California, but California is a very large state. And in a state this large, you can find a few places where bilingual education actually works properly. There are probably a few dozen programs in the state where it works well, and those could continue under our initiative. Those parents who want their children placed or kept in a bilingual program can apply for a waiver. And for older children, it's easy. Some double immersion programs work. Those could survive under our initiative.
Okay, Ms. Thier, let me share with you some of the criticisms directed at your campaign. Some people say that these existing bilingual education programs actually are hurting students and it's harming their ability to learn English. That being the case, why would you want to support something that apparently isn't helping the students learn English?
Actually, there's a lot of good bilingual education programs that are helping children learn English today. Any parent that wants to take their child out of a bilingual education program can do so today. But if Proposition 227 passes, all children will be stuck in a Ron Unz one-size-fits-all classroom. In addition, this proposition takes all the money currently in bilingual education, puts it into Ron Unz's proposition, and then appropriates an additional $50 million a year for the next 10 years every year. It's one of the biggest government spending programs we've seen.
Okay, Mr. Unz, some people argue that the problem is not with bilingual education. They say there are a lot of good bilingual education programs. The problem was two things: lack of funding and not enough good bilingual education instructors in the system. Why not address that rather than trying to eliminate the entire bilingual education program?
First of all, nobody knows how much the state of California is spending on bilingual education, but it's certainly in the hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Some estimates would put the extra cost of bilingual programs at over $1 billion a year in the state of California. These programs don't work, and it's not through lack of funding. The programs have lots of problems. One of the problems, again, is that there are very few teachers who speak the 140 different languages necessary to implement bilingual education in California. It just physically can't be implemented. It's failed.
Okay, Ms. Thier, I'd like to give you the opportunity to respond to that.
Sure. I think what's failed is Proposition 227. Out here in Los Angeles, the 9th Street Elementary School children that Ron Unz always talks about, those children, they have not learned English in the one-year immersion program. Only 2 out of 74, which is lower than the district average here at LA Unified School District and lower than the statewide average. Let's take Gloria Matatuckman's children. Not one child moved out of her classroom into a mainstream classroom for last year, 1996-97. And what we're saying is let's give the children a chance.
Okay, Ms. Thier, Ms. Jones, I want to thank you. Now what we want to do is we want to move to our live audience. We have a number of people here from Southern California who have been very involved in this whole debate around Proposition 227. Kitty Feldy, I'm going to move to you. I believe you have a question.
Yes, Doug Laskin is with me. He has a question.
Yes, I'm a Los Angeles school teacher. I'd like to direct my question to Ron Unz. Ron, as I think you know, Los Angeles Unified's union, UTLA, had a referendum on 227 in which almost half the teachers, 48%, voted in favor of 227. What is your reading as you travel around the state of the sentiment of teachers in other districts?
We've received tremendous support from ordinary teachers up and down the state. This initiative divides the leaders from the ordinary people in all these organizations, the leaders of political parties, the leaders of establishment organizations, and the leaders of teachers' unions. I think we will win overwhelmingly on Election Day among the ordinary teachers and union members in Los Angeles and throughout the state.
Ms. Thier, I'd like to give you the opportunity to respond to the same question.